So the administration acknowledges we're in a tough place. Numerous members of them, including the president, say they get that things are bad, but they will not call this a recession. They say that's not the technical definition. But here's a new poll. This is from CNN. It says, do you think the economy is in recession or not? 64% say yes, they believe that it is. And Kevin, when it comes down to it, and when people head to the polls within a matter of months, their perception about their own ability to put food on the table and gas in the car is going to matter a great deal.
Well, it's going to be huge, Shannon, and that's the ridiculousness about this Orwellian use of language that this administration not only wants to redefine recession, but it has redefined inflation, it's redefined vaccine. Heck, they've even redefined the word woman. And the average American, to your point, when they see that and they see the insensitivity to the reality of their grocery bills being so expensive to the point that they've had to change their behavior, it is going to have political consequences. And I think the news of the last 24 hours about the Manchin-Schumer bill really endangers an increased number of Democrat seats in the Senate. You know, if that happens, we would be very happy because we get more conservative policy. But unfortunately, what that means is that a lot of Americans, tens of millions of Americans, are feeling that in their pocketbooks and at their dinner tables.
I mean, I want to read you something else from the Wall Street Journal editorial board tonight, talking about this deal that Manchin has made with Schumer and with the White House. It says the Senate GOP got played. It says Republicans have co-signed some $1.28 trillion in new non-defense spending this Congress, while they now stand helplessly by as Democrats pass another $433 billion in spending. What's the GOP's role, responsibility, and where we are right now?
Well, Shannon, you know me well enough and you know Heritage well enough to know that although we're conservative, we're always going to call the balls and strikes. And Senate Republicans did get played. Now, I can only assume that they operated in good faith. I would assume that. And the problem is that earlier this week, they signed on to that monstrosity of a $250 billion CHIPS bill purportedly to be tougher with China that is only going to lead to the construction of more chip factories in China with our taxpayers' money. Had they not signed on to that, they wouldn't even be in this ridiculous situation of having been played by Manchin and Schumer. But this is really the point. I just know, spending as much time outside D.C. as I can, being an average guy from a working class family, that when the average American sees this nonsense in Washington, this is what burns them up about business as usual and the really cute kind of academic redefinitions of recession to the point that we have never heard in our careers will madden them when they go to the polls. And while I may rejoice in the outcome of that, which will lead to conservative reform of all of these problems, unfortunately, because my family lived that in the 1980s during that recession, it's really hard for families to make ends meet right now. And for our fellow Americans, we really do need to look past the politics and the political games and encourage our senators, especially the conservatives, to be courageous this week on behalf of the average American.
Well, none of us on this panel can balance our